Hello, everyone. This is David, Fairly Secret Music. This is a thread response to Darcy's Six Strings, Nine Lives. He wants us to talk about bands we were late to the party to. And I think it was 5. I think I got like 6 technically here. And kind of like a pre-band that one of the artists was in. So they had to be within 2 to 5 years ago I got into them. Some of these are on the 5.5 year mark because I think I got into some of them late 2013. So I figured, oh well, nobody actually would know that. I could tell you I got into them 5 years ago. But that was only like 1 or 2 of them. And the first band is the Allman Brothers. So at one point my nephew gave me a bunch of CDs and a bunch of records, and there were a couple cassettes in there, and Allman Brothers Live at Fillmore and Eat a Peach were in there. I forgot CDs one day, and I thought, okay, I'm going to check out this, because he had 2 cassettes, and I had them in my car for some reason. So I put in Live at Fillmore, and I get to the first guitar solo, and I'm like, God, this band sucks at guitar solos. I can't stand these. I take it out, I throw it in my back seat. I don't listen to it again. Until a week later, I forget my stupid CDs again. And I thought, okay, let's listen to it. And by that time on the cassette, I think the cassette was flipped over, and In the Memory of Elizabeth Reed was in the play mode, whatever. And I get to the guitar solos for that, and I'm like, oh my God, these guys are the greatest guitar soloists ever. And that was the end of it. I totally fell in love with Allman Brothers Band. I even have 2 versions. So the Fillmore concerts and Live at Fillmore, this is the same audio but remixed, where the drums are a little louder, the guitars are a little quieter. I actually kind of like this a little better because the drums are more prominent in the mix. And if you don't know, they had 2 drummers, and I believe they're panned hard left and hard right for a lot of it. But you cannot go wrong with either of those, or Eat a Peach, or this one. And actually the actual studio album that has Elizabeth Reed is Idlewild South. So that is Allman Brothers. The next band is a band that I did not know about prior to a few years ago, and I knew about the bass player because of his previous band he was in, and that was the Graham Central Station with Larry Graham, who was part of Sly and the Family Stone. He left Sly and the Family Stone to start his own band, and they are fantastic. They get into a little bit more of the disco stuff, or less funky, more kind of commercial stuff on these last 3 albums. My Radio Sure Sounds Good to Me, Now Do You Want to Dance, and Mirror. And this was a later Larry Graham and the Graham Central Station that had Prince on like 3 albums, or 3 songs. But the key releases to Graham Central Station are Release Yourself and Ain't No Doubt About It. Release Yourself has a song called Graham Central Station, and then the title track is so great. The first album blew me away. It has We've Been Waiting and Ain't No Fun to Me, which is an Al Green cover, but they funk it up. I call Larry Graham the godfather or the grandfather of funk, so because he was the first one who started doing slap bass, um, Hair, The Ghetto, What's Been Going Down. Oh my God, this album is so great. I've bought this twice because the first version I had did not have lyrics in it. It was a shitty copy. Whoops. Ruining things. It was a shitty copy that looked more like... Well, this I also got two versions of because I wanted all the lyrics. I did an awful thing. The Collectors Club version of this sounded better. So I took the CD but kept the artwork for this one and gave that to, well, somebody who was my friend at one point, but I'm not so sure anymore. I also got Ain't No Doubt About It. And then normally I don't get big archives or best ofs, but this one was signed by Larry Graham, and I got it used. It's actually signed to Suzanne, You're One in a Million, Larry Graham, and that's Larry Graham right there. Another band is the Smiths. Now, I saw a movie called 100 Days of Somebody or something like that, where he listens to the Smiths and Joy Division, and she's an awful human being. The character, I think, played by Zooey Deschanel, and I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt is the other guy. That movie actually got me into the Smiths. This is the Rhino box set that comes with all their releases. The biggest problem about this is they are all miniature vinyl replicas. But instead of giving me a book that goes along with it, all the lyrics are in miniature vinyl replica print. So even though I have bifocals and I can see and read this, screw you, Rhino. Give me an actual book that comes with this. And had I waited a little bit longer, well, they did. They give you this book right here. Should have put all the lyrics in this book and made it a little bit bigger. This is kind of pointless book. Just made the book a little bit bigger. Had I waited a little bit longer, I would have been able to get all the, look at that, all the CDs in regular versions, but by getting it in this box set, I paid about $7 for each, whereas if I were to get them individual in jewel cases, I would have had to pay like $18 a piece, so screw that. I also got into Morrissey too. He is a late to the game guy. Let's see. This guy has a lot, so I'm gonna just find one that is really well known by its cover. Yeah. Well, I'll just put this one up. Richard Thompson. So here's the kind of related thing. I also got into Fairport Convention while getting into Richard Thompson. Oh, and Sandy Denny. Sorry, I didn't realize I had Sandy Denny with my Fairport stuff. So I got all of these Fairport Convention CDs. I love this cover. And somebody in the UK is going to be like, oh, that's just down the road from me. And all this Fairport Convention stuff. This is another one, Legion Leaf, which is highly respected. I got all of those around the same time I got Richard Thompson stuff. And if you're not familiar with Richard Thompson, that's all the Richard Thompson stuff. Holy crap. My favorite album, I will talk about my fave, is this one. Because it has the song read about love, I feel so good, and I misunderstood. 3 amazing tracks back to back, like a hat trick of just brilliance, just absolute brilliance, and very poppy. Sorry, I'm trying to make it so my stack doesn't fall over. Just very, very poppy, just awesome. If you like catchy, somewhat folky, not really folky, but just awesome power pop, Richard Thompson, what's this album called? Rumor and Sigh. That thing is amazing. And then this one is Acoustic Classics. And 24 other ones that are awesome. He also does have a song called, I think it's called Butterfly Wings, about a woman who was, even a gypsy's life is too much tying down. And I love that song, but I hate the character that he's singing about because it reminds me of ex-girlfriends of mine. And then the last band, Bad Company. Oh my gosh, this band has Paul Rodgers from Free. It has Boz Burrell, who played in King Crimson. And if you did not know this, Boz Burrell started playing bass in King Crimson when he joined. He ended up playing fretless his whole career, as far as I know. You also get Mick Ralphs on guitar and Simon Kirke on drums. And if I remember correctly, I think Simon Kirke was the drummer of Free. Let me see here. Yep. He was also the drummer of Free, which is another band that I got into late also. But with Bad Company, I am only getting these 2-disc remasters because I know Swan Song will do a good job on them, which they have so far. The beautiful thing with these is... oh no, they don't come with lyrics. That's the bad thing about these, is they have just liner notes. I don't know if they ever came with lyrics. So far I have Bad Company, Run with the Pack, Bad Company Live in 77, which is also a 2-disc set, Straight Shooter. It has the song Good Lovin' Gone Bad on here, and for the longest time I thought that was a Whitesnake song, which is really weird. I mean, he does sound a lot like David Coverdale on Good Lovin' Gone Bad. John, Vinylizer, tell me I'm not wrong with that. Listen to Good Lovin' Gone Bad and tell me if, yeah, he sounds like David Coverdale. And Burn in the Sky. The beautiful thing is, I believe I found Burn in the Sky used and decided to get that, and I won a bet at work. Run with the Pack was my chosen CD, part of that bet, and then I went back and I didn't realize that they had this one used, so I got all of these. The only 2 that I actually paid full price for were these 2, and they actually had them on a decent sale. I think the store accidentally marked them down like $5 rather than the like $1 or $2 that they usually do. So those are my bands that I am late to the game for. Check out Darcy's thread, and I will talk to you later.